Welcome to the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. Whether inside or outside the loop, we are talking everything soccer in Houston. Y'all ready? Let's get it. Houston, welcome to another episode of the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. My name is Rudy Segura, and we have another fun-filled Monday night of talking Houston soccer, specifically the Dynamo, of course, but I'm not alone. We do have a full house. Edson, it's in the back, pulling all the strings, so if you have any comments, throw them in the chat. We'll make them available for everybody else to see. If we see one that we like, we'll definitely hit on that. But Christian Putelias is in here as well. Brother, how you been?
What is good, everyone? What's up? Hey, man, doing good. Lost, but I guess looking forward into what the future has. US Open Cup coming by real soon, so hopefully that's a great opportunity to go all out and maybe lift another trophy. Who knows?
Yeah, and also Joey Chavala, man, we made enough time for you to make it in here, Joey. So welcome to the show, man. How are you?
What's up, gentlemen? I'm pretty good, pretty solid.
Haven't missed 1 second of the show, of course, bro. But
sweet.
We're glad that you're here. Christian, man, we had a ton of fun on Friday. We went to the We Got Soccer location in Tomball. You know, our friends have invited us to go out there, and we finally made the trip. It kind of worked out that I was off that Friday. And were you off that Friday, or you didn't work that Friday? I don't even remember. You were off that Friday.
Yeah, I was off.
And so, no, it was nice, man. It's a big store. They just opened a new location in West Chase, man. But just your initial thoughts that you want to share with our listeners on that place.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great place. Honestly, We Got Soccer, right? So obviously very soccer oriented, but I mean, it has literally everything that you may need as a soccer player. From, a goalkeeper, basically a whole wall of just gloves. They had a whole stand of shin guards. I mean, everything that you may need, literally from like tape for your feet, just any socks, everything that you would need for a soccer game. As we said in one of the little things, like it literally for parents, players, coaches, literally for everybody that goes and enjoys.
Yeah.
Even fans, right? Like might as well throw that in there, right?
Absolutely. Definitely.
You can get jerseys from all the team. Basically, there was so many jerseys. Like
Where was that store when we were growing up, man?
Bro, for real.
No kidding, dude. I didn't see a Boca jersey, so we may have to get that in there going. But there's pretty much everything that you can think of that is mainstream, and obviously Liga MX jerseys as well. Tigres, Monterrey, Chivas, America. You counted. Basically everything was there. Yeah, no, we had a ton of fun. I would say that if you guys follow our Instagram account specifically, but I will throw it on Twitter as well. Christian, you were a sport, man. I had a lot of ideas. Obviously, I was doing most of the shooting with the ideas I had, and so far we've uploaded 2 videos. One of them of you walking the store and showing everybody how big that store is. And the West Chase location is bigger. And if you guys also follow our Instagram, I just shared their story of how it has also a podcast booth. So God willing, we'll be out there doing one of these shows live from that store. So it's a pretty cool location. And but yeah, no, Christian, man, Joe, you're gonna get a kick. I know you're off Twitter now, but man, those Instagram videos are gonna be really, really funny.
I'm ready for it.
I already had created the very first one, and I was gonna go with that as the first video I uploaded. I sent it to Ruben from We Got Soccer, and he was like, "Man, I love this. It's fantastic." But I decided to keep that. I'm gonna pull the trigger on Friday afternoon for that one because it makes more sense. Because we did announce a giveaway as well. So $100 gift card giveaway to We Got Soccer. And here at Bayou City Soccer, we're throwing a pair of tickets to the Seattle game. Obviously, if you can make it in time, there is a really cool bobblehead from Pat Onstad in the 20-year celebration, season 20 celebration. is what they're calling it. So
Brad Davis is going to be there.
Yeah, he was I guess a late entry to it. We'll see who else shows up, but yeah, there'd be a lot of people from the early teams signing autographs and doing all that good stuff. If I was a fan, if I was you, I would make myself go out there and get signatures. Right. It's funny. I opened this folder from 2015 before I was doing more media related stuff. And I had a friend print out some nice pictures because I couldn't buy any. I mean, you can go to buy some from the NFL and this and that. And I used to do that and then get them autographed. But MLS doesn't really do that unless it's already framed. And I found them. I opened the binder and I found them. And I had Brad Davis, I had Brent Ching, and to this day, I still need to get autographs. So maybe one day, it'll happen. I believe that we'll get that. And that way, I can put it in the background, and I don't have Jay Hurtado telling me how room is not. So it is what it is. But yeah, Christian, anything else you want to add regarding that, or if you want to just tell people how they can connect with us, man?
No, yeah, I mean, just go to the social media websites. I mean, might as well just throw it in there. BayouCitySoccer.net is a website. Don't forget to check us out on X, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, everywhere, basically. And it's going to tell you how you can win all this. Like Rudy said, $100 gift card to We Got Soccer and 2 tickets for the next game upcoming. We're going to let you guys know who wins on Friday, so be tuned to the social media there. But yeah, I mean, it's very simple. Just follow We Got Soccer, follow us, and you can just like and share the post. And that's all about it. And also, don't forget, if you haven't yet, go check out Ugly Guppy at uglyguppy.com. They provide the freshest gear for your event or for whatever you team or whatever you have. And also at Lotus Bravos, don't forget to check those guys out. Whenever you do go to the matches, they probably have the best corn in a cup in the city. So go check that out. And yeah, BayouCitySoccer.net. That's the website.
Yeah, busy weekend overall. We're gonna definitely talk Dynamo. We have Dynamo news for you guys to touch on. Recapping the weekend game is gonna go really, really fast. I was telling Edson and Chris that we have 2 games upcoming, so I think we'll probably spend most of our time there. But without further ado, Edson, if you can hit those Dynamo news out here, and we'll get going. Being honest, I didn't get to watch the full match. I watched most of the replay and I had to stop. Make sure to watch the recap. And it was an interesting game. I know, Joey, you got home kind of late and caught the second half.
Yep.
And I think, Chris, you watched most of the game. So We'll start with you, Chris, with your bias of the match itself. Obviously, LAFC, and one thing that Ben Olsen mentioned was how Houston wants to be LAFC, and in a simpler way of one of the questions he answered post match is just the fact that LAFC is a juggernaut. I mean, yes, they Houston beat them, but it wasn't the same LAFC that they took on this time around, and Houston was just overwhelmed. Would be maybe the definition, Christian, the word for it.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it was a game of 2 halves, so 2 different halves. Obviously, I mean, the first half it was dominated pretty much by LAFC. They held the ball a little bit longer than the Dynamo would, and the second half, obviously, kind of being trying to get back into the game. The Dynamo did hold the ball, but when you see the counterattacks and how quick the LAFC attack can just come out of nowhere. I think there was a post by one of the MLS guys. I forget his name. One of the 3 guys, not Gas. One of you know what I'm talking about. But he was talking about how in that post he was showing a little video or clip how the Houston Dynamo controlled the ball, and LAFC basically invited the Dynamo to come through. And then as soon as they got the ball, 2-3 touches, you're on the other opposite end. I mean, Bond had 8 saves that could have been goals. Buonga probably would have been tired of scoring the whole night if everything that he kicked went in. But it just kind of shows you how the transition game of the Houston Dynamo may be a little bit too slow, in my opinion, at times. And also how those key pieces for LAFC, those names like Buonga or, the other guys that they may have, they do make a difference. And the question kind of remains, at least in my head, is, does Houston Dynamo have those difference makers when it comes to those games where you maybe have to throw your team on the back and you have to go for a win or something like that. I mean, it was a 2-0 loss, so obviously they didn't have any different makers because nobody scored. If they would have had, they would have scored something or at least gotten close to it.
I got a counter argument for that.
Go for
it. The DP player we just brought in has 2 goals in barely 100 minutes.
No, I agree, right? I mean, but the same thing we said from Gabe Seagull. Gabe Seagull, obviously, a whole different thing. Obviously, he, what do we call this kid? Lingy. He's riding high on goals, and I think we are expecting him to be the difference maker. But in games like this, obviously, you can't expect the guy to throw this team on the back every single game because there's other DPs or there's other players that are getting paid well or are supposed to be those names. But it just shows you the difference, right? One guy sometimes cannot take the whole team and throw it on his back, and it just kind of shows. We joke around about Lingard, Googling him and stuff like that. But I mean, he still has to grow in the league in a sense, right? He's a great player. We saw it. His hustle is tremendous. I mean, you can't deny that the guy really wants it and he wants to win.
Yeah.
But obviously, he can't do everything by himself. And on the other side, Buonga could be
they
a
all
change.
want to win.
No, of course they all want to win. But at the end of the day, you see the difference between. I'm not saying they don't want to win. I'm just saying that sometimes it feels like they can't win. I don't know if that makes sense.
What's everybody attacking? I'm the only Mexican here, and we get the 2-0 in here. Come on, Jeff. We're friends.
That was on purpose.
Yeah, no, but you know what? I agree with a lot of this, and like I mentioned earlier, it's even with the title, right? Reality hits hard because Ben makes. I mean, every time we talk to Ben, and Ben's very open and transparent. Joey, you were there for that press conference, man. But overall, I mean, he's calm and he's being honest. He's like in the sense of like, yes, it's 2-0. Yes, you lose. The expectation for every game is to win, but there's again, reality, exactly. Realistically, that's a really good team. That's hard place to play at, and if it wasn't for Bond having like a game out of I don't like he just had 8 saves, 9 saves, or something like that. I mean, the dude put up a game that could have easily been 4-0, and just with the starting lineup, I mean, we knew that Ben was going to repeat. I told you guys, I'm like, I think it's going to be the exact same lineup coming up. So overall, I mean, we were going to even the letdowns and the players that stand out, but it was just an okay game, and I mean, nothing really out of like, oh my god, it was horrific, but nobody really excelled either. Joey, unless you think differently.
I thought McGlynn played pretty well.
I like Kowalczyk whenever he came in. I mean, obviously, we talked about how he's literally fighting for a spot, and you can tell. But the guy, I feel like he's on a super high. Every time he comes in, he makes a difference. He gets the ball, drives into the box. Like he's looking to take shots. He's looking to find like an open guy on top of the box as he has with Bossy once before. Kowalczyk, to me, even though he played probably 20 minutes or so, he has been a difference maker in the sense that he's looking to go forward. He's looking to go one-on-one. He's looking, he's not. And that's one of the questions that I wanted to ask you guys. How do you guys feel about maybe like not changing tactics, but just the way that you approach games? Because obviously, we kind of know what the Dynamo will play, which is possession based. Kind of utilize the guys that know how to handle the ball, like Bossy, McGlynn, all the guys that basically play around the box, right? But when it comes to playing around the box, and we saw a lot in this game, was like once they lose the ball, there's literally no defense, right? Like LAFC attacked in 2-3 passes that were on the opposite side in the box, trying to get a shot off, one-on-one playing against the young guy. And obviously it's a lot of responsibility for him. So the question is, to kind of go into that, is
that's what Ortiz was brought in for.
Well, yeah, there you go. So that probably would be a good change, right? To go. I mean, I think he did pretty well.
Why he was brought in, because he's fast. That's why they brought him in.
Yeah. The only thing I was gonna add, you talk about the young guy being Femi, obviously. But
I forgot his name.
Femi, like every time I see him play, and like I said, I gonna be very like nitpicky here because I only saw the highlights. So, it's one of those that you see the worst and the best or whatever there. But the way that he defends drives me nuts sometimes. At somebody, obviously I played at a low level and the way that as a center back, he just shifts his body. You ever notice how like he flips his hips on and off, on and off, on and off? But I mean, there's times to do it, but he's just always shifting and he always gets caught. Like it seems like with his heels buried to the ground. That's why he gets beat so much. He tries to I don't know the word is intimidate, but he wants to obviously be able to persuade the attacker to move a certain way by shifting his hips so often. But I feel like it's always like it basically corners Femi because at that point he's the one moving and the attacker just picks one spot and takes him on. And on a bunch of those plays that LAFC had and even outside of the LAFC match, it just seems that that's something that he tends to do. So maybe there is the lack of experience, especially playing against like those top talents like a Boanga. And so yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Joey. Maybe that is the next move. Seeing Pablo Ortiz eventually get into the lineup and help Sviatchenko because Sviatchenko looks slow. I mean, we know he's slow, but he did get beat quite a few times just out of position, which he's usually good at that, right? But the transition game seems to always be one of the weaknesses for the Dynamo, for sure.
Well, they were trying to pin Boanga in. That's what they were doing. They were trying to create a huge overload on the right side. That's why Sviatchenko kept pushing so high up. They were trying to put it in a situation where Boanga was defending for most of the game. And it works, but once you have a cheap giveaway, it creates an easy counterattack.
Yep.
Yeah, so and more controlling on the ball.
Yeah, good job, Edson. Yeah, I was gonna say obviously Bond. Yeah, that first goal was kind of definitely Bond's fault. I mean, it ricochets off of him, or that just puts it, in the goal. Barry said so. Little mistakes, they're gonna happen for sure. And yeah, we're missing both leadership and sorry, I agree. I think it's just a part of the. Again, Sviatchenko's a great leader, but it gets to the point that, when you have so many new pieces, it's difficult to get in. And one guy that had a fantastic game, Franco Escobar never stopped running. He already knew that he had accumulation of, yellow cards. And that whenever you guys were like, oh, man, I was just watching football, trying to, keep up with it. And they're like, oh, he got red carded. And I went and looked, and I was like, it wasn't, outrageous.
It wasn't
by any means.
The second yellow for sure wasn't a yellow offense in my opinion, but also something that Jeff said, leadership. Leadership is going up to Escobar and telling him to stop being a fucking idiot, because his first yellow card was him being an idiot. Like he went up to but we know he is an idiot in the sense that he just gets heated and then he does stupid things that could give him a yellow. There's a lot of plays that he just hits players without balls. And you're like, bro, you play on the edge every single game. And we like that, right? We like the fact that he's just very strong-minded and, he's passionate, right? But then there's a line where he's passionate and then there's a line where he just becomes stupid, because the first yellow card, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but it was him basically yelling to the linesman and then going like this, like, you need glasses, right? That's why he got a yellow card, by mocking, or not mocking, but, just talking shit to the linesman. And it was like a dumb... Maybe it was like a throw-in or something like that. It was something dumb that, yes, passionate. You're gonna be like, hey, are you blind for real? But then taking it to the step where you're gonna get carded over something dumb like that is it's gonna condition you for the rest of the game, because it did. Because I felt like in some instances he could have gone harder, but he wasn't, because he knew that he had a yellow. Obviously, he got the second yellow towards the end of the game, which in my opinion, like I said, it wasn't a yellow card. I mean, the referee also was kind of weird, because he also gave Dorsey a yellow in the first 2-3 minutes, and also it was a foul that it was in the middle of the field, not that hard. It wasn't a yellow card offense. And then you have both of your wing backs already conditioned when you have
and those are usually your best players. Your best players. And
so, but you see it because Dorsey and I feel like Dorsey and Escobar didn't play at their 100% because they knew that they were already on a yellow. So that's why you saw Buonga being so active, because he knew who to run at, and where to look for this, potential second yellow.
Yeah, but, I totally agree. Yeah. Again, not a ton of like things to go. I think it's one of those games that chances were high that you were going to lose this match just because of who you're facing. Again, LAFC, regardless if what kind of club they are or what kind of fans they have. I mean, they are a very good team. They are a very good team. They've shown that. We'll play the highlights. If Edson, we'll get to the highlights. So we'll play them. If you guys have any thoughts, as in Chris, Joey, go ahead and mention them as the highlights play. Don't feel like you have to wait till the end, and we'll go from there. And I think that pretty much will close out this recap for LAFC once they're done.
It has been the Dynamo, and LAFC have not scored a goal since
pretty empty stadium for what we tend to see from LAFC. 8 minutes in. This is Garcia just got in a yellow, I think, in this play.
Yeah, that was like the first one. Yeah, something like that.
Transition, man. Martinez and Ordaz are so good. That's a bad. Again, it hits Bond right in.
Defending by Femi too. Bad positioning.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's he marking?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just chasing the ball.
He's ball watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buonga, and they're just so fast. Their just transition game is
why did he step away?
That was a bad clearance from Femi.
Look, can you go back for a second? Sorry, but look at him step away after the rebound.
He said,
"What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, and then he put it right in the middle. Yep.
But that also leadership, like telling him, like, bro, what are you doing?
It's frustrating.
Well, that's not leadership. That's just a bad player making.
No, I know, but they always tell him, "Oh, it's okay, it's okay."
They don't tell him it's okay.
All right,
they
No,
do.
they don't.
This is the play. That
last
I'm
time he gave a penalty in last few games. I forgot which game it was, and everybody was like, "Oh, pick it." I understand picking up your head.
Do you want their teammates to crowd around him and tell him he sucks?
He's 24 years old. He's not a baby.
I know.
Exactly.
But then you don't do that on the field. You do that after the game when you're breaking.
I know, but one thing is like coddling him, and the other one's like, "All right, let's go, fucking move forward." And then also that was terrible defending.
Yeah,
that's what you were saying, Rudy. My
bad. Fire at will. I don't think I had seen you on here before, man. Welcome to our live episode. But yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about, Femi. You see how Femi's defending?
Like, I mean, we know at this point that Femi's not good.
And he's doing it here as well.
It's not
you
like
guys defended you guys defended Femi the whole entire season, and now you're saying he's not good?
No.
You've given Femi so many bad ratings. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's not. We never defended Femi. The fact is, like, for him to gain experience, you need to play him.
I'd give him the benefit of the doubt because he's a young player who hasn't played much. But I'd never once said that Femi's great. I mean, I've literally given him in my ratings. I've given him 2 2s and I've given him a 1.5 at some point. He's had some stinkers. He's going to get a really bad rating for this game too. I haven't done him yet, but he's going to get another stinker.
Yeah, he was pretty bad.
Come on, Narek.
But look at it. Look, okay. He actually went towards the.
That was good defending.
He did
very good defending. Yeah. But in the other, like, he gives him so much space sometimes. Like, he shifts his hip side to side. It makes no sense. He's like losing so much ground.
Because he's not a good player.
Yeah. No, exactly that. I mean. That's besides the point. And again, we don't want to just dump on this guy. I mean, at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. But you can tell that.
And you can't really play Ethan there either because Ethan's just so slow, and he can't really play in the transition game. That's
okay.
Ethan's
Here,
issue.
what if it was me? Yes, please go back.
He's doing what he can.
But wouldn't you just go ahead and crash into Buonga? I would have.
He should have.
Right?
Because when I was watching this game, I said, "Why don't you fucking slide?"
No,
he opens up space. He doesn't close down the space at all.
Yeah, just go ahead and close them down. Push Buonga towards his left. I mean, Buonga's gonna score, probably, but don't give him the opportunity. Plus, that ball from Boanga was actually a pretty bad one, and Bobby Say made a fantastic job of
also, I think
keeping control.
This is a time to also shit on Eric. I think somebody else said, him not.
Yeah, he was out of position.
But I mean, not also out of position, but also the fact that he's an amazing guy.
This not on Eric. This goal's not on Eric at all.
To finish my point, the fact that he came into the season not in shape, that's on him.
Yeah,
and that is affecting him right now because now he is injured. Sure. And as a professional, I mean, he should know better anyway.
Especially at his age, it's a lot of unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to do a lot of the preseason. He missed out on a lot, and his body. I mean, he's a guy that was already injured before he joined the Dynamo, so it's just unfortunately that he's getting injured now. Yeah, it's a red card. Everybody kept looking at what's it called, Kavochik, and Kavochik's like, it's not me, bro. Oh, he landed on him. He landed on him.
Yeah, he landed on him. It was an accident.
Yeah. It's pretty much game after that. Yeah, I think, like I said, this is one of those games that you already kind of see it as like it's going to be likely a loss, and you kind of lick your wounds and kind of move on. You have to. I think you can't really take too much time grieving on this loss. Yes, LAFC is someone that you had beat in the past multiple times, including this season. But knowing the type of level they are, it's just, again, it's a measuring stick that it's like the Dynamo are not there yet. They want to be there, right, with all those new pieces. But now you have to quickly think about, obviously the U.S. Open Cup now this week, then the game against Seattle, and then so forth and so forth. By the way, we didn't mention it, and probably people are seeing me drink soda. It is soda. There's nothing in here, I promise. But if you celebrate Cinco de Mayo and you're out there drinking, or you're listening to this, taking a shot of tequila every time that Chris says, "Let me finish," whatever it goes, man. But yeah, no. Eric is absolutely. I don't know if he is.
He wasn't out of position. It was off a corner.
It's a corner. I mean, his
position is to get into the box.
Yeah, either get in the box or go defend. He was in the middle of both. He didn't do it. He didn't attack or defend. So he was out of position, in my opinion.
He was not out of position.
Go
put the highlight again.
That's what I'm saying. But you said. If
it's not out of position,
if you're a center back, you're either inside the box trying to hit the ball, or you're out defending.
That's not true.
I mean,
here, let me go back. I'll play.
Center backs tend to be the best.
Yeah, look where he's at.
Center backs tend to be the best head scorers, right? Like their head game.
Eric is not always in the box on set pieces. Sometimes he's one of the box floaters.
Yeah, he was kind of. He wasn't in the box. I see that.
He wasn't in the box when it was taken. He was one of the floaters. Just because he's a center back doesn't mean that's his role on a set piece.
It should be.
It doesn't. No.
It should be. Center backs. It
depends on who you are. Yeah. That's not his specialty.
Center backs. One of their specialty as a center back is to be able to defend with your head. If you know how to defend with your head, you 99.9% of the times you're usually good at.
But that wasn't
attacking.
the set piece tactic there, though.
Yeah, I mean,
but whatever happened, it just didn't work.
That he's slow as a turtle. It's like, bro, you're never gonna get there. Like he's like 50 yards behind Boanga. You're never gonna catch him.
Like, they left Femi with two guys
that
are good scoring.
That's not Eric's fault.
Who's to blame then? Arthur.
Well, whoever was the middle floater. I don't know who it was. We had to look back.
It was probably Arthur.
Yeah,
but also. Terrible execution of that play. Whatever, because that ball. I don't think
it's more so on the turnover as who's at fault there.
Yeah. Who kicked that ball?
Probably McGlynn.
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's my point, Edson. If you know you're slow, position yourself in a good position.
So that's on Kenny Bundy then. That's
then let's get on Kenny Bundy's ass. Kenny Bundy, what the fuck are you doing? Position your man properly.
Because Eric doesn't decide where he goes on the corner. It's Kenny Bundy.
You do when you're inside of the field. You decide. Yes.
No, do you think they don't practice set piece plays?
I know you practice set pieces, but when you are inside of the game, you make your own decisions. This is not basketball where you you lift up fingers and you know where you position.
But
it's not though.
It is. That's how set pieces are in the modern game.
Yeah, but no.
If Kenny Bundy says we're doing
disagree.
corner tactic number 3, Sergchenko is going to go stand where he's supposed to be on that tactic.
Me personally, I don't feel like that is the game.
That's not a feeling. That's a fact. That's how coaching setups are.
Yeah.
You don't feel.
Yes, you do feel because soccer is moments. It's not like.
Yeah, but if the coach says this is our setup for this type of corner, how he's going to set up.
Then we gotta say, Kenny Bundy, you made a mistake in this one because you left Sammy alone with 2 defenders.
I'm agreeing with that. That's
but
Kenny
also,
Bundy, why are you blaming Sviatchenko?
Because he's in a terrible position as a center back. He is doing nothing. He was useless in that play. It's just the reality of it.
Whether he is or not, but it's like they told you to stand there. So at the end of the day, you have to listen to your coach. That's what Joe's saying.
No.
Okay, soccer in 2025 is more about the coaches than the players.
Which is terrible because the coaches don't play the game. The players play the game. They have to have some say in what happens on the field. It can't just be looking back at the coaches and be scared that they're going to yell at you and when you go back to the dressing room. If you're a soccer player, you can't be afraid of what the coaches are going to tell you afterwards. Because if you're a center back and you go inside the box,
when you have an offensive set piece, everyone should just do whatever they want. They just ignore the coaches.
But position yourself better.
I'm not going to leave Chris alone in a 2v1 situation. It's going to be 3v1. No, not the guys. No, I agree with Chris. And because at the end of the day, yes, the coaches have a specific, play in mind for certain scenarios. But as players, you also have to adapt to scenarios. If you see that you're leaving 2 speedy players, against Femi, you can't go. You as the second center back, you can't just go up and leave him there out to die. You have to say, okay, this scenario calls for this.
But that's where Artur's supposed to be. That's where Sviatchenko's position. He's the right box floater in the tactic. But that's not on him to be the transition guy.
But he's not good at any. I mean, what is he going to do there? Look at it. Look at his skill set.
They've scored goals in the past from him being in that position because he puts a second ball in. He does that. He's very good at it.
And there's no other person that can do that.
Back.
There's no other person that can do that.
Maybe not. I don't know. You'd have to go ask Kenny Bundy.
You have to remember.
I just think Kenny Bundy did completely wrong, and he fucked everybody
not that
up.
Big. He's only 6 feet, dude.
He's huge for soccer.
If anything, why
he's a center back?
And me playing last when he's 6'4", however tall he is. You would think he'd be, but it all goes again. In our mind, you think like throw the center backs at the front. I agree with the mentality that you're saying, Chris, but the reality is if it's a specific play that you have to do and everybody knows their position, then it's really on the coach.
Look at the situation.
Honestly, Dino, it's mostly on watching the playback right now. It's mostly on Jack McGlynn. I would say he's the biggest person.
He was a terrible freaking kid.
And also look at the situation. You're losing 1-0. With 10 minutes left.
They're trying to play offense. They're trying to push more guys up the field.
So you're gonna leave your worst defender.
Well, he's your most athletic defender. That's why he's the one at the back.
You're losing.
Who else are you gonna put there?
1-0 or 2-0, it doesn't matter. You still lost the game.
But you also have to. There's still 10 minutes left in the game.
You're trying to tie the game.
Exactly, yeah. But if you can't have a game if you don't position yourself good. Why is it so hard to understand that you always have to have more defenders than forwards? And that's not what happened.
But this is something that we've seen also. Like, okay, I'm going to take it out of context and so we can move on. But the fact, Chris, I think we understand what you're saying. We're just saying that in this case, it's coming from a set piece, that there's specific roles in the set piece that is given to the players to do. Now, if the play goes to crap like it did here with just a really bad, play on itself, obviously the ball gets lost. And we've seen this the whole freaking season. It's usually in transition that the team gets beat because of they're just unbalanced. They, like you mentioned.
I agree. This whole game was out of transition, right? So who is there? Should we blame anybody?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think
it's not one specific person you blame.
You blame the coach.
Of the play for sure, and obviously, yes, if
it's
the
not
coach
just
said,
the coach.
He just said the coach calls everything, and now you're saying it's not the coach.
As a whole, though, it's a team thing.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Joey. First of all, you said it was the coach that made the decision on set plays, but now you're saying it's the team as a whole.
On that specific
so who makes the decision?
That's on the coaching.
Exactly, but then what about the game as a whole? Isn't that also dictated by the coach?
I mean, Ben set up the team pretty well. I mean, the LAFC was always going to play that style. They're always going to play the counter.
Exactly, but whenever we played, I think it was LAFC first game, you knew who to play that, right? You played Orso and you played Arthur to kind of kill that defense. Obviously, it wasn't the same players, so like, why not play the same thing? You know what I mean? Like.
But if we're being honest, I mean,
because Brooklyn's the starter, they're not going to put Urso back in.
No, I know, but I mean, you saw what Urso did.
Yeah, I mean, Urso was good in that game, but I mean, I think Brooklyn was fine in this game too. Yeah. This had nothing to do with the midfield. I mean, the offense had sloppy turnovers.
Yeah, but I mean, the defensive midfielders are the ones that are supposed to kind of be there to prevent all these.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not going to happen every time, Chris.
No, I know, but the Dynamo they have been getting killed in this specific thing the whole season.
Not really. That's not how they concede. Most of their goals they've conceded this year is from building out of the back. That's most of the goals they've conceded.
That's part of them.
In terms of open play in open play defending, the Dynamo have barely conceded any goals this year. I can
think of 4 or 5 that they conceded out of counters like this.
When?
It was against I have terrible memory, but there was one that Arthur gave away it was at Shell. That's one of them.
But that's not that's not the same thing. Arthur giving away the ball in midfield is a mess up in the build up. That's not
Miami. Edson said I think it was Miami.
Miami they got killed with everything. Miami is absolutely the best example of that. Exactly, for sure. Yeah. I don't disagree with you on that one.
I just think transition has been terrible because the build-up is just too slow, first of all, in my opinion. And then you throw so many numbers up and you don't do anything with all those numbers.
That's what happens when you go down or when you go down 1-0 early.
No, but they do that the whole entire game. But they
didn't start pushing Sviatchenko up into a more midfield role until they were down 1 goal.
The identity of the Dynamo game is have the ball and push men forward, right? Yeah. And then try to find
counter pressing.
Yeah, like just keep them there and then try to build up, off the back or whatever it may be. But then that happens. They get caught with their pants down, and then all you have is Femi trying to save the world when Femi is not your greatest defender. And it's just been happening game after game after game. Yeah, that's the way that I've seen it. I don't know. Maybe I'll see it differently, but that's what I've been seeing in multiple games. That's just what happens. Arthur turns it over. Jack McLean turns it over. Obviously, there were terrible, defensive mistakes inside of the box. That's a whole different thing. But I mean, a lot of the games is the Dynamo getting killed in transition because they move so many men forward and they don't do shit. Like they have no shots on goal. All the shots that they take are shitty shots. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the idea is, and that's what I'm saying. Like they don't have a guy that can. And Kowalczyk was the only one that came in the second half trying to take a shot. 20 minutes left in the game, but he was the only one that was trying to go 1-on-1 against defenders. You don't see Jack McGlynn trying to do that. You don't see Dorsey for some reason.
What do you mean? Jack McGlynn has so many take-ons this year.
Oh my god. Where, bro? He doesn't take people 1-on-1.
Games where he's
a great passer, but no,
took a guy on and took a shot. He's done it.
He has 2 of those.
He's done it multiple times.
Yeah, he has like 2 or 3. I mean, same amount of freaking alley-oop in his whole career.
I mean, Bassi got removed pretty quickly. That tells you how much the creative juices were going in this game. I'm gonna just keep it on this game.
Yeah, I mean, this specifically wasn't a good game. It wasn't. I mean, and you also got to have LAFC their flowers as well. They played a fantastic defensive game.
Yeah, but these are the games you have to win if you want to be a good team.
Yeah,
like you have to try to compete against.
Well, yeah, they're still trying to figure out who they are right now. They're not a complete team.
Yeah.
In 2023, when they knew who they were later into the season, they went on the road and beat LAFC. At this point, the Dynamo still don't know who they are. They don't have their identity yet.
Let's pump the brakes on this conversation because I feel like it's getting repetitive. But we got more things to talk about. So, yes, there is stats. Edson, if you can play the stats just so obviously 19 shots, 10 on target. Dynamo 0 on target to the point that Chris was making. Again, we're taking this specific game on its own, and total shots for Dynamo 4. Ponce was obviously invisible. He didn't really get to do much of anything. Obviously, he was an island. But yeah, I mean, not, and I don't know why I left the. I just saw it says Austin up there. My bad, that was me. I created the graphic and I didn't take it off. But you guys get the idea there. But so moving on. I mean, mid-game week. It's easy to move. We'll skip the standout. Yeah, you're good, Edson. You can keep going to the U.S. Open Cup one. Match this Wednesday. I'm a big fan of the U.S. Open Cup. Before I began to follow the Dynamo full on, U.S. Open Cup was one of the only things I used to watch when it came to MLS. I don't know. I like those underdog stories and, all those upsets and all that good stuff. So U.S. Open Cup is one of the competitions that I try to keep up with. And, now that we cover the Dynamo, exciting to see them be a part of it. I believe this is the first time that they'd be playing Phoenix Rising, if I'm not mistaken. Joey, I would ask you to look, but I think they played them in a friendly. That's the only thing that I was able to find. But
I don't think they've ever played Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, I think it was like a friendly, which obviously doesn't.
Definitely not since I've lived over here.
Tucson Cops or something like that.
Yeah, they play the Tucson Open tournaments and stuff in the off season.
Yep. So this match, it's at Phoenix Rising Stadium. Tell us a little bit about. You've been there, Joey?
Phoenix Rising Stadium. Yeah, it's a nice place.
Tell us a little bit about just the vibe. We'll go with that. We'll start with that.
The vibe?
Yeah, like how obviously it's a younger team. If you get to the next slide, Edson, I have a little bit more info on who the Rising are for people established in 2016. They've won a USL championship in 2023. They've had a couple, obviously, Western Conference titles. Desir Drogba played for them as well and is one of the owners. And as far as awards, they have 2 MVP awards, 2 Golden Boot winners, and 1 Coach of the Year. And I just found that it said Phoenix Rising is located in the heart of the 5th largest city in
That's
the
crazy.
United
I
States.
didn't know Phoenix was that big.
And Houston is fourth, so
it's huge. And so their stadium's right by the airport too, so it's a cool little area. They have a solid team. Last year they made the playoffs. They got beat by New Mexico United in the playoffs. Shout out. This year they're struggling. I mean, they had a new coach this year with Pamadou Ka, who we know was a good MLS player with Vancouver and Portland. He's a player that we all loved. He's not been the best coach yet. I mean, he had a really good stint with North Texas in MLS Next Pro, but yeah, as a full head coach so far with Phoenix, he's not been so great yet. They kind of lost some of their players as well. Zambrano moved on. He's one of their best players. White moved on. He's one of their best players. So they're kind of struggling right now, but they're a good team. They're a good foundation. They're a good run club.
Struggling. Yeah, I was going to say, obviously we know that they have some history. They've done, a good job of keeping that team relevant. But yeah, if you're talking about struggling, I mean, the way you said it was kind and nice because they have only won 1 game since October, and it's been against San Antonio FC. So that's probably makes Edson happy there too. But at the end of the day, this team is trying to get it together, and I mean, Houston can't be too happy either. They only have 2 wins since October as well.
I was gonna say we should on Phoenix, but we're close by.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, definitely there's more red when it comes to Phoenix since October 19. But again, it's just how the ball rolls. Sometimes you have to, like Joey mentioned, obviously they did well. The coach, as you guys know, that helped the Rising win that championship was Juan Guerra, who is now with the Houston Dynamo. So there's some history there. I'm sure there's not a lot of players probably left from his time there, but anything that he can share with the squad, he probably will. And going to the amazing Mr. Tovar question, do you think that the US Open Cup should be prioritized, Chris?
Yep, it's the only actual title that they actually could win this year.
They could.
So
a bit harsh.
It's true. I mean,
why is that true? What's true about that?
Because I don't see them beating LAFC. I don't see them beating Seattle. I don't see them beating a bunch of other teams in the Western Conference.
Seattle. I mentioned Seattle. Seattle hasn't even been that good this year.
How good is Jonathan?
I'm just saying those are the teams that get huge in playoffs. So even if the Dynamo get to the
Dynamo
playoffs,
get huge in playoffs too.
Not historically.
I mean, the Dynamo have one of the best playoff records in MLS history. Every time they make the playoffs, they make a run. Last year was one of the only times they didn't.
Well, okay, let's take to the U.S. Open Cup. How far you think they beat Rising and they move to the next match?
I hope so.
Was it Minnesota? I know it's written down somewhere. I think it's like I know they would play away again.
Yeah, I don't really care if they win. I'm happy. I'm gonna be happy, but if they lose, I don't really care either.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's how I always feel about the Open Cup. If they make a run, it's fun. I enjoy it. I want them to win. But if they go out early, I mean, it's just less games in the schedule. It's more rest for players. It's fine.
Edson said
how many games it would be to win it? Like 5 games?
4 or 5 games. 5 or 6, I think.
I was trying to look it up as you guys spoke, but no, I am with Chris more on this. I am a big, I like the U.S. Open Cup. Obviously, it's another avenue thus far to make it into Champions Cup as well. Get into more international play. So
it's the easiest way to get to it.
And it seems that Van Olsen takes it very serious. I mean, we know that every time that he's played it, he tends to play his best team. Apart from the goalkeeper, he does like to rotate, which I think it's fine. I think it's important to do that.
I disagree with Nemo or whatever.
What happened? What you go for? Let me look for some stuff. You can comment on that.
No, because he said, "I hope we lose." I'm like,
no, why do you ever hope we lose? I don't want the team to ever lose.
Yeah, I'm not with it. I don't like losing, even if it's not like 4 points. You just can't. You can't, even if it means like, oh, we're gonna get. That's something I don't understand about football. When like people are like, it's okay, let's just lose a bunch of games because then we'll get a quarterback. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, Edson is right. By the way, if it would be against either Austin or El Paso Locomotive, whoever.
Oh, El Paso would be awesome.
So it'd be. Yeah.
I think I would travel for that.
That'd be a cool one.
That's about a 3-hour drive for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and talking about
didn't we play them?
No, it was like 4.
Or no, we played San Antonio.
Yeah, we played
San Antonio last time, which I wanted to go to that game, but it was like also like a mid game.
Let me see how far is that drive for me? It's about 3.5 hours till past.
That's pretty good.
Well, yeah, talking about a Phoenix Racing, man. We will have a photographer out there taking content for us, so I'm excited to get as much content as we can from that game ourselves. So
if it wasn't a Wednesday, I would have traveled out to the Phoenix game.
I know. I told you that. I was like, man, it sucks. It's kind of
it's 10 hours from here. That's far.
10 hours only?
That's far.
To Phoenix from Houston?
No, to El Paso.
Oh, I was gonna say what? I was gonna say it's
Phoenix
like 13 hours from Albuquerque to Houston.
No,
and it's 6 to Phoenix.
I may have to make a trip out there to Phoenix. I haven't gone to Phoenix yet. So.
My favorite city in the country.
Yeah, I need to go check it out. It looks like everybody thinks the same way as you, Joey. So we gotta go see what all the hype is about. But yeah, I guess predictions. Joey, you said you don't care either way. Christian, you think they'll go? Beat Rising?
They should.
I'll go with a 3-1 win.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think they'll win. I think we'll be able to. If they do win and they go to the next round, their game would be the week of the 20th, their next match, which, let me see, I saw it here. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't write it down. But anyways, it'd be the last week of, or the second to last week of, it'd be from the 20th, 20, 21, 22, sometime around there would be the next matchup between Austin or El Paso, and it will not be a Shell Energy Stadium. Plus, honestly, does it really matter? Not really, because let's be honest, Houston, I don't show up to those U.S. Open Cup games. I tend to always be there by myself. It seems like so.
One day we'll get good fans who show up to midweek games.
Well, I mean. Yeah, there's things to do. There's a working town. There's a lot of excuses, but I think people should show up for that.
Excuses.
But I do like the fact if they're gonna play anywhere, play it in El Paso, right? So we're rooting for El Paso to beat Austin, and then for Houston to beat Phoenix, and keep that trip in the USL for sure kind of going through, man. I like that. I don't understand why they play in the big stadiums, even though it's nice for me personally as somebody that shows up to those games. But I mean, there's nothing like taking a pro team to those 5,000 seat stadiums, and it's a completely different thing, man. I think El Paso wins the game with. No, I believe they're both they're on the road.
They're both away. They can't play away or home.
Yeah, I think even Ben mentioned something about he wasn't in love with the whole system that they have right now because of they're taking the idea, and I don't know everything to tell you everything right now, but it has to do with the seeding as well with Leagues Cup and all that mumbo jumbo, which makes absolutely no sense because they're two completely different tournaments. I like the fact that they used to always draw in the past, and I was there watching it every Friday, 11 a.m. in the morning, whatever time they did it. But anyways, fun thing. I think we all do hope that the Dynamo go through. That game is again very late, 9 p.m. match, and Central here. Joe, you get it at what, 8 p.m.?
Yeah, 8.
And the game, I believe, is going to be in Paramount Plus, like CBS Network and all that and jumbo. So look for it. Root for the Dynamo. Hopefully they get through. I mean, I wonder if Drogba's going to be there. Does he show up to games like that? I wonder where he lives. Not thinking about it.
Where did he play for the USL? Did he play at Phoenix?
Yes.
No.
I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah. And there was somebody. I want to say maybe Edson can help me with this, but did Omar Bravo play for Phoenix Rising as well? Omar Bravo is like one of the legend strikers for Chivas in Mexico, and I believe he played there. I don't know why I want to say he played. I may be completely wrong. It's funny because there's a lot of like legendary Mexican national team players that gone straight to the USL. They didn't even play in MLS. They just yeah, he did too. He played for Orange County, Toros, I guess too.
Oh, that's right.
And I do remember like Gerardo Torrado, this midfielder that played in Europe and then in Pumas and Cruz Azul, and he ended up playing with Indy 11, which I wonder that'd be a team that would get, or a city that would get a team.
Xavier Baez, is that how you spell his name? Say his name. He was in USL too.
Yes,
Chivas guy
with Austin
Bold. Yeah.
Actually, Omar Bravo did play for Rising. That's okay.
Who?
The guy I was talking about, Omar Bravo, Chivas guy. I wonder, he played in 2017. Now I'm curious if he played in Kansas City. I know that, but I wonder if he played. It says he played in 2017. So that probably means he probably played alongside Drogba, not thinking about it. Anyways, that's just me talking out loud here. 17, because if the club was built in 2016? Drogba, where are you? Anyway, yeah, he did. Drogba was there too. I'm sorry. All right. Anyways, yeah. So next match coming up for the Dynamo, apart from this Wednesday, it's the match, the May 10th, the season 20 celebration. There's a bobblehead involved. Which, by the way, there was a bobblehead this past weekend. It got basically rained out. There was like a 2-hour delay for the Houston Dash match. And all that 2-hour waiting just to lose a damn match after scoring a sick goal by Avery
it was
Patterson.
A beautiful goal from Avery. She's so good.
Yeah, I didn't get home till I was planning to go, but then I got busy, and then I was like, man, it's 6. I got home at 6 something, and I was like, man, should I go to the stadium? Should I not go? Like, it's an hour drive. And then I just said, no, I don't know. I'm not feeling good about it. Like, it's supposed to rain. And I'm kind of glad I didn't go. But I did watch it. And I was just like, sat there till like it ended.
I didn't watch it.
Disappointed of the result. I'm like, how? And obviously, you could definitely tell that those stoppages mess up the team because they stopped they stopped the game, then they get scored on pretty quickly. Anyways, but if you want to hear everything about the Houston Dash, shout out to
Orange and
Manny
Blueprints.
Olivares and Diego Martinez doing the Orange Blueprints every Wednesday as well. So that's just FYI for them. But let's jump to the match against Seattle Saturday here in Houston, Shell Energy Stadium. 7:30 p.m. kickoff. Can the team beat Seattle during the season 20 celebration? We'll find out. As you can tell, their current record, and I don't know if it's this next slide or not, Edson, but they're on the come up. They're on the come up. They beat Nashville 3-0. They did tie Colorado 1-1, and this past weekend they stomped St. Louis City. So we know that they had been suffering some injuries. Seattle has. Houston played in Seattle already, and they lost. No, they tied. They drew, right? Yep. 0-0, I think. Was it Seattle?
When? Who?
Yeah, Houston.
Yeah, they tied it up.
But what was the score? 0-0? 0-0, right?
Yeah, I think it was 0-0.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember Ben Olsen saying, "Have you ever coached a team away?" Yeah. Anyways,
was it Seattle or Portland? No,
That's one question.
it was one of those teams.
It was Seattle.
Yeah, it was Seattle.
But
yeah, obviously a team that's being healthy. They're
Iconic quote. We love Ben.
BCS history
We
forever.
do love Ben, and you know what? I feel bad that on his birthday he lost.
They lost. Yeah, he was pretty bummed too. Someone opened the press conference with "Happy birthday, Ben," and he's like, yeah, shit, thanks."
Yeah. Like, I got myself the worst press.
Yeah, he seemed like he completely forgot about it. I feel like the guy just reminded him it was his birthday and they lost.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say that apart from whatever the result is during the week or midweek on Wednesday, a couple days from now, against Phoenix, I don't feel super confident against Seattle. And it's a homecoming. It's supposed to be like this fun event, and I just feel like Seattle's gonna come and just ruin the party. That's like the first feeling I get today, being a Monday. I'm like, it's kind of like, you guys remember in high school, like every time you did the homecoming, you schedule like the weakest team out there. Like you look for the crappiest team, like the team that you beat like every single time, just because you didn't want to. You did right? Yeah. Shout out to. I was gonna say I live in Alvin now, but shout out to Alvin because
in Katy, it was always the same school. Everybody had their homecoming against the same school. That's so sad.
It's so I feel that this is one of those games that if you beat Seattle, it's a statement. But man, it could get pretty soured, and maybe people are gonna. I mean, no, never mind. I'm not even gonna say it because I don't want bubbleheads flying into the field. That's the people like all the giveaways turn into like projectiles all the time. I've seen that all the time at NRG. Edson knows what's up because you go to like a Mexico game or whatever they give away, everything becomes some kind of freaking like paper airplanes or whatever the hell they do, man. And so
for which games?
For Mexico, when Mexico plays in Houston, they always
that's because they have shit fans. That's why
they party too hard. Hey, there's probably some rotten ones out there. Yeah, have you ever had a? Do you know? I know Edson knows. ¿Sabes qué? Agua de riñón. Have you ever heard that term, Chris?
Yes.
Yes. We won't translate it. But that is the thing. So, if you are a English
bladder
person,
water, I guess.
Yeah, that's a perfect translation. Bladder water. Yeah.
You ever been hit with a little bit of bladder water?
Yeah. Especially
Mexico fans are just shitty, so it's kind of what they do.
They'll fight each other too if they have to. That's for sure. I try to stay away. I don't bring my cousin because he'll do that too. No, I'm kidding.
That's funny.
So the lineup that Seattle played against St. Louis, again, they're getting healthy. I mean, you got the Rodon brothers having a moment, playing in the middle, holding hands and just beating everybody.
The Dynamo are gonna get wrecked.
A lot of green there, apart from the logo there. I mean, they've been playing very good. I mean, man, Rock is just I don't know. He's just a beast every time he plays as Dynamo. I think he genuinely just hates Houston. Like he every single time, whether it be against Houston Dynamo 2 or be against
personal
Seattle Sounders, he just, and he's one of those players. You want those type of players. It's hard to hate on any of these guys. You see them, you see the talent, and as a fan of the Dynamo, you want players like that. Like Nuhu is such an a-hole, and that matchup is gonna continue.
I
with
love
Dorsey.
Nuhu. That dude's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's not. I'm saying like the matchups, and I like it. It's one of those that, oh man,
I love how they're running the Roldan brothers in the field together. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
I mean, we know that Christian plays more central, and
yeah, and Roldan's Alex is playing on the wing. They have Obed on the right in that graphic, but he's more of a central player. But Obed's been ridiculous this year. He's been almost like a best caliber player at some point this year, best 11. He's been so good.
Kidney water, you're right.
Appreciate it. Kidney water is different. Yeah.
Let's say Rothrock has been really good. De La Vega's showing up a bit this year too.
He's not injured. Vargas has been stepping up.
Rusnak scares me though. Rusnak is so freaking good. Jesus Ferreira's out for the game too.
Question.
I think is his career over? By the way, you think
why would his career be over? He's been
in
very
the sense
good
of
this
like
year.
hitting like the potential.
Oh, to being like a European player, yeah. He's had too many injuries these last 2 years.
Yeah,
but he's been pretty damn good with Seattle. He's been they've been playing more as a 10 than a striker, and he's been really good.
Yeah, and then obviously my guy Jordan Morris also injured all the time too. So.
Yeah, I love Jordan Morris. He's one of my favorite players in the history of this league at this point.
Yeah, I will agree with that. Again, I follow the team pretty much every single game, every single team. Some closer than others, but I think Seattle's one of those staples, man. You have to.
Yeah. Morris is definitely entering that kind of Mount Rushmore of MLS players to me. I really love Jordan Morris.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to add? I mean, we talked a lot about Seattle. Anything that we missed, Joey? Especially, obviously, this is just starting lineup. Any subs that you may see being a thing, Chris or Joey?
No, I have a fun stat. We haven't been Seattle in Houston since 2021 or something like that.
Yes,
it's been a while.
It's been a minute. It's been a good minute. What else about Seattle? I mean, they're just.
I'm with
Seattle.
you, Nemo. I think
man.
I don't know about Suck.
When I don't know about Suck, but
didn't they win a freaking
Seattle losing that Xbox thing? Like, oh man, it hurt because like
it's been that long
in Xbox, and I was like, man, that's cool to have.
Another dangerous player for Seattle we got to watch is Georgie Manungu. He's been really damn good this year, coming off the bench. He's kind of been their super sub as a winger. He's definitely a player to watch. And Ryan Kent just came into the team as well. He was a bit of a FIFA legend a few years ago. And he's a pretty solid player from Rangers that just came to the team. He hasn't started yet, but he'll probably be a danger off the bench as well.
It should be a fun game. You hope there's goals, and you hope the Dynamo scores more than Seattle. Right, simple soccer terms. I mean, nothing. Yeah, just keep it simple here. You want to party. You want people to go out to the stadium. The Rockets are out of the playoffs already. You don't have to worry about that.
Are they actually?
Yeah, they lost by a big margin.
20 or something like that.
Yeah.
Who did they play?
Golden State.
The number 7 seed Golden State.
You would have thought that this is not rocket scene, man. Go follow like somewhat. Our guys out of Polo, they do a good job with that. But no, I agree. I mean, there's a lot of factors. Hopefully, the weather's nice. Obviously, the weather has been crappy than last Friday only because it was gorgeous. Apparently, the entire time I was gone out of town and RGV, I was out there visiting Edson. Didn't get to see Edson. I was only there got there at 12 on Saturday, left at 12 on Sunday. So I drove like pretty much my entire weekend, and it was good. But
shout out to you.
Shout out to me, man. And
you're a better man.
Wasn't able to link up to get some cool Red Crown merch, but we're in search of it. We'll wear it proudly, Chris and myself.
100%.
So we'll figure it out. We'll have to get Edson to go, help us out with that.
Once the USL starts with this whole promotion relegation and the Red Crowns going into the 3rd division and they make it all the way up to the USL championship,
style, baby.
And then they win it, then we're gonna be like, we were there. We know the guy that calls the games.
We're from the beginning, from the inception, that type of thing.
Also random, but I used to think nothing good came out of Dallas. Atletico Dallas looks amazing, by the way. Just random thought.
What is that?
Atletico Dallas. It's a new USL championship team coming in 2027 from Dallas, and their logo looks amazing.
What about Diana Ordonez? She's from Dallas.
Well, I guess we'll throw it out there.
I mean, he's just spitting facts here. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the predictions. Christian, I asked you to try to think of a divination for this, but Joey, what do you think the score prediction looks like?
3-1.
3-1.
Yeah.
Seattle wins.
Oh, for Seattle? Oh,
no,
never mind.
Seattle.
My mind was on Phoenix. I don't know why.
We could do Phoenix.
No, he already did Phoenix. He did 3-1.
Oh, okay.
All right.
He did when we were doing.
Yeah, I was wondering why you're asking me the same question again.
No, because right,
okay.
right.
Okay, for Seattle, I mean, God, 2-1 draw.
1 draw. Okay,
that'd be a good result against
Chris,
Seattle.
what?
That would be a great result.
Let me go first. That way you can take more time in the prediction, the divination. But I'm gonna go with 2-1 Dynamo. I want to believe that they were able to score multiple goals before they got to LAFC. Seattle's a hell of a team, of course, but you never know. Honestly, it could be basically anything. I really don't have a good feeling on this match, but I'll be positive because they're playing at home. So 2-1. What are you thinking, Chris? Give us your prediction.
I always want to be positive. Always want to be positive. Always want to win, but I think we're gonna lose 3-1. I don't know. I just don't see us beating Seattle, to be honest. And then if we want to do an orange divination,
do it.
I was trying to also go positive, but it's just very, very hard to go positive. I like the fact that we might have a new center back pairing, so that should be good for us. But when it comes to possession, Seattle is slightly higher than the Dynamo when it comes to the percentage on that. Dynamo had two shots, 0 on target last game, so I just want 3 shots on target this game.
Okay, all right, that's a good one.
I had other stuff,
that's
but
a good one.
Just 3 on target.
Yeah,
it seems impossible though.
That's it. All right, well let's go ahead and finish this off with Dynamo 2 news. Obviously, they played on Sunday. We did find out news that Diego Gonzalez got injured, and unfortunately, he's gonna miss a good chunk of the season, if not the rest of the season. So, obviously, we hope that he
it's a brutal one.
Heals. It's obviously
that's his career as a first team player, most likely.
Unfortunately, that could be true.
In
right?
MLS, at least.
The guy had been, and the sad part is he had been playing so good, right? Yes, he's one of the older guys in the team. I mean, he's 22, 20.
I mean,
22.
Honestly, if he wasn't going to make the team by now, he wasn't ever. But this is kind of the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, and so, I mean, you don't want a guy to just like his entire career to be out the door, but with injuries.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he's gonna get healthy. He's gonna side with New Mexico next year, and he's gonna cook.
Yeah, it just kind of depends, right? What the injury was. We didn't get the full,
lower leg injury. Oh, we got
so it's just one of those things that like we said, maybe
lower leg, so Achilles, maybe,
possibly.
That could be terrible.
I will say that we will be talking to Marcelo Santos, head coach of Dynamo 2, tomorrow. We'll see if we get any information or status on the injury by itself, but definitely keep an eye out for that interview. Obviously, we'll dig deep into what Dynamo 2 are kind of going through and obviously recap their last match and preview the next one. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately for Diego, man, you feel for him. He was like the best player of the month. In April or March? Yeah. So I mean, he's a good player. I mean, is he like first team quality? Probably not, but
he could have had a shot with this U.S. Open Cup, right?
Yes,
that was like
I will agree with
that's
that.
a sad part, right? Like he was maybe in the cusp of maybe playing some first team minutes. I think he has already, if I'm not mistaken.
He played with El Salvador and he scored that goal.
Yeah.
That was his debut.
Yeah, that was his, okay, yeah. But in a real competition, that would have been his first. That would have been amazing. But life had other plans. But yeah, to kind of finish off the point that I was trying to make. But hopefully, if nothing pans out as a true first division professional, I think USL Championship could be still something for him.
Yeah,
to kind of build a
maybe he's at the Red Crowns when they make it like to USL Championship, whatever it will be called once they create a bunch of tiers,
right?
But no, I mean, again, they'll be playing. Yeah, it's like trying to be as positive as you can, but it really sucks when things like that happen. They'll be playing their next match will be on Friday, May 9th. They'll be at SaberCat Stadium playing the Colorado Rapids 2. So that'll be their next game, probably. Let me see, 6 p.m.
6 p.m. Yeah,
as it tends to be. So I may make it out there.
It should be a good game. The Dynamo are one of the best teams at home, and Colorado is one of the best teams away. So if everything goes well, it should be like a good even matchup.
That says a lot, right? Because even though Houston lost this past game, they are second on the table currently in the Western Conference.
Dynamo, those have a really good team. I've watched most games. I haven't watched all of them, but they do have really talented players. I think they're doing something great over there. They do have the youngest team, or in average. I think it's like 18 and a half. So they have a bunch of 16, 17, 18-year-olds. I mean, we said a 21, 22-year-old was one of the oldest guys in the team. Marcelo Santos has a really good vision of what he wants to do with this team. And some of the players are really good and fun to watch. Edson Ochoa is amazing. I know, people are yelling for him, but when you see the way that he drives the ball or, free kicks, we were used to seeing Gonzalez, Diego take free kicks, but what we saw last game, there's a couple of guys that could take those. I mean, there was 2 hits on the crossbar from dead balls. It was just really good. Overall team is a good team.
All right, guys. Well, before we shut it down, Joey, there is a Crush Joey stats, which, by the way, next week we'll have a return of the Elotes Bravos fan feud. I've changed some of what the setup looks like. So if you're interested in winning some memorabilia and possibly, I was going to say tickets, but probably not tickets because there's not a game after that. But memorabilia and obviously Elotes Bravos
voucher.
I was going to say promo code voucher. There you go. Thank you so much, Chris. You know what I'm going to say. I get stuck. You got me, dog. But all right, Crush Joey stats to close it out. Joey, here's your question. Hopefully,
before Joey, you answer it. I want also the people to answer it before you. So take your time. Expanded. I know you usually kind of break it down.
If you give Joey time, he'll figure it out. All
right, let's see.
He'll break it down real good. But I want to give the people time to kind of read it and also try and guess.
I'll read it here. It says Brad Davis holds the Houston Dynamo record for all-time assists, which is 97. I don't know why I didn't wrote it down. But which player ranks second?
97?
97.
So it's not Ching, because Ching's not much of a playmaker.
Ryan Ching, Albert Ellis, Bonia Garcia, and Brian Milan.
Albert Ellis wasn't there long enough, so it's between Boniek and Brian Milan. I'm gonna go with Boniek.
Achach.
Man, he's just too good. We can't crush this guy, man. It just seems like we try, but it just doesn't happen. It's Bonia Garcia is a correct answer, and it was close. The next slide shows the rest of the list, but yeah, Brad Davis at 97, Boniek with 32.
That's wild.
Brian Ching with 28, Albert Ellis with 28. And,
so if Albert Ellis was there for a long time, he would have easily surpassed.
I agree.
tremendous.
Yeah. It's a massive gap, dude. It's crazy. I was like 97. I mean, I knew.
I mean, Brad just played so many damn games.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
But I mean, that's a lot of assists, though. That's
Brad was a stud.
No, I mean, credit to him.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you guys are going this Saturday, and if you're not, go buy tickets, man. You get to see players like this. Guys that are legends for Houston Dynamo history, man. Go out there and shout out here as well, Bonia Garcia. There will be a episode later in the week. We'll get to chat to Bonia Garcia. If you guys have any questions for Boniak, appropriate questions, of course, that you want us to ask them.
What about if I have any inappropriate questions for?
I don't know.
Send it to Rudy.
I'm the face that has to ask it, so I don't
ask him which twin he likes the best.
Bro, good question. Good question.
Or which one is gonna make it pro first? That's another good question.
Hey,
which one is he pushing more?
Now you made me think. I may have to dug down the twin question.
What's an inappropriate question we could ask Boniak?
Does he have fake teeth? Because he's always smiling,
Does he miss Heather Hines?
Oh man, yeah.
Doesn't he coach for the club or
he
has
does.
a role
I was
in the
gonna
club?
say he is with the academy of some capacity, but I think he also has his. I don't know if he's the owner of where his kids play, but I do see that he's very active in that as well. But yeah,
pretty cool.
So we'll close out the episode with that, guys. Make sure to follow Chris. Feel free to tell the people one last time how they can connect.
BayouCitySoccer.net is the website, guys. Go check us out over there. You're going to see everything. The ratings will be popping up tomorrow, right, Joey? Go check that out. Rudy also has ratings for the Dash, so you can check that out as well. Dos is also dropping either today if you're listening on the podcast or tomorrow if you're watching live. So we're going to have a bunch of content tomorrow, and obviously the week coming up, we are playing 2 games, so that means there's a lot going on. So go check it out at BayouCitySoccer.net. Bayou City Soccer on Instagram, Facebook, X, Blue Sky. Here on YouTube, if you are watching, don't forget to drop a little thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. So go check that out.
Absolutely. And like we mentioned, Wednesday, you got Orange and Blueprints. Thursday, you have Movimiento Naranja. And as Christian said, Instagram, go check out that giveaway if you're interested in that giveaway.
$100.
Apart from following We Got Soccer _HTX on Instagram, go check them out. They opened their second location already. The one we went to in the video you saw is from the Tomball location. They just opened the West Chase location today, like earlier this Monday. So make sure you go check them out. The great people. Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna create a fake account. I'm gonna try to sign up for this deal because if I get those $100, I'm getting some Predators. And I'm gonna be wearing them for a wedding.
Joe, you should have seen Christian's face, and you will. There's definitely content we created of Chris, how much in love he was with this cleats, man, and how he probably it went into that whole Ratatouille thing,
the
guy eats, and you just go, and it just takes you back to like your childhood, So that's probably Nemo. He wants Coco back, Ache back, everybody back, but. We want you guys back next Monday, so make sure to, keep along with us. We have definitely more content Monday, man. 2 games.
If you're listening on the podcast, leave a review, 5 stars. It helps the podcast kind of, push forward on the ranking. So help us out with that.
Yeah, and we missed Dago today. No Dago today. He didn't pop up. All the other guys that tend to pop up, man. I don't know. We did it about around the same time, but hopefully you get a little shout out here. You mention your name. No Jay Hurtado. I believe Jay Hurtado was at the LAFC game. He was probably wearing LAFC jersey, and we're not gonna give him too much. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe he's related to Manny. He was with the what's their ultras name
3252.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe Jay Hurtado was out.
It's 3253, maybe.
You never know, man. But thanks again, guys. Thanks, Joey. Thanks, Chris. Edson, fantastic job on the bag, pulling the strings, man. But don't forget, guys, to hold it down. Keep it forever orange, and we'll see you next time.